Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where Rangers have been back after the international break after a kind of long 2 weeks pondering and thinking about what went wrong at Celtic Park again. As obviously they geared up for a Dundee United away game, which in its own right is another tough away venue and fixture. Obviously Dundee United playing pretty well this season since coming back up as well, so it was always going to be a hard task. So we'll obviously get into that. John Bennett has stepped down as chairman. I think a thing that had to happen for the benefit of the club. We'll give our thoughts on that as well, and then all the fallout and Dave King's comments, and then obviously we're looking ahead to another Dundee team. Obviously Dundee coming to Ibrox for the Cup on Saturday. And if you do enjoy the podcast, as always, you could like, subscribe, and share, and comment below your thoughts on Rangers at the moment. That'd be brilliant. But first we'll go on to the Dundee United game then. I'd feared for the worst for this game before the team had came out, because I'm thinking, right, Dundee United, Tannadice, they're always up for playing us, and it's never a venue we ever go and really dominate it. So I thought it's probably the worst possible game to get after coming back from the international break. The pressure and demands that are on this game to win for the fans as well and get a response after that horror show last week, a couple of weeks ago, sorry. But then the team did come out. I think we all had our ideas of who we wanted to play. We wanted to see Bajrami come in for his debut. We wanted to see Kassan Weirho come in maybe for his debut as well in the back line that was so massacred by Celtic the last game. And we wanted to see changes in the front line. We wanted to see Hamza Igmani in for the get go. Obviously, Václav Cherny dropped out due to illness, and obviously Oscar Cortez was fit enough to start, but Clement just done a complete U-turn. He decided to play Kieran Dowell and he decided to play Tom Lawrence and Cyril Dessers.
Aye, I think we all expect that to come on. No, listen, as the same as you, I thought we'd be lucky to get in for this kind of game. Then we kind of felt like we turned up for a wee bit for, I'd say, the first sort of 20 odd minute of the first half. It felt like we were really starting to play some alright football. Dessers, I mean, the boy could have had 3, 4. But obviously, Tom Lawrence gets the first one. It's a nice goal. It's a lovely goal. For Tommy Lawrence.
Aye, something that kind of flew over my mind with this game is, when do we ever start an away game with the energy and the incentive that we did yesterday and get an early goal? It's always we either go 1-0 down, we miss a boatload of chances, which we did anyway, or we end up struggling into the second half and looking for that reaction again. So obviously it was nice to get that early goal. I thought definitely for the get go we had a different attitude, had a different energy to our play. Obviously Oscar Cortez was dropping into the middle, and there was
Mm.
a couple of nice flick-ons and stuff, and obviously one of those coming for Cyril Dessers in the end for Tom Lawrence, who still had a lot to do. He had to go by a few men and obviously believe in himself to get in the box, and then it's a really cute finish into the net from him. And then, from then we kind of had another couple of good chances. We were up the pitch, but again, just like Rangers, we can never seem to kill teams off, and we're on
Typical.
top. And it is really typical of the way we are, because we were on top for good parts of the game. Dundee United really couldn't handle the
Mm.
midfield battle. Obviously, in the image there, Kevin Holt is a defender and he was playing in midfield. We obviously exploited that and just kind of played round him. And obviously, the left hand side was working pretty well for us as well, with Yefty and Cortez, with multiple crosses into the box. But no, I was definitely happy with the opening 25 minutes or so. And then
Yeah, we
Rangers just
just
kind of slowly take the foot off the gas and invite Dundee United into play.
that's exactly it. As I say, there's 3 or 4 to me where he's got to be jumping, looking to get ahead on the ball. I know obviously there's one where he does, but nothing pays off there. And then obviously his chance at the end of the first half should have should have buried that. But no, it was good to see. I thought Cortez as well. It was good to see him obviously come back for his injury, getting the start, and he looked proper. It's nice to see we actually have a proper player. But nah, we just took the foot off the gas, mate, and invited them, I thought, to play. But I just for me, second half wasn't anything special personally. Obviously, the boy came on. He looked decent. I would like to see him obviously start at the weekend over Dessers, but. Nah, man, I just thought second half we were just weren't in it.
Nah, it was kind of it continued on for the first half performance really towards the end where we didn't look the same team as we started the game. And
Nah.
if we go through the team that started, obviously Jack Butland in goal. He came for a couple of good crosses and stuff, and he didn't really get tested at all by Dundee United. I don't think they had a shot on target the full game, but definitely some set pieces and some crosses that he had to deal with and dealt with them well. I think the only ropey thing is some of his passes playing out for the back. He nearly
Aye.
caught us out a couple of times, and I thought to myself, why are we continuing to put ourselves under unnecessary
Pressure.
pressure when we could just obviously hit it long if needed? But my Butland was just fine out with that. I thought Yefty was really good again. I'm really liking his development so far in this team. I think he's obviously took a while to nail down a starting place, but it's obviously been made easier with Yilmaz being out the team due to injury at the moment. And I think he's just kind of going from strength to strength. I think more game time is benefiting him. He's a massive asset down that left hand side for us getting forward. And he's definitely improving in his defensive side of the game as well. I thought he handled whoever Dundee United kind of put up against them well yesterday.
I mean, I would agree, mate. I think him and Cortez had a really nice wee 1-2 going on. I like the two of them together, down that left hand side. But no, definitely obviously been easier because Yilmaz is my boy can't stay fit. But no, I like the look of him as well. He's one of the only ones that's come in so far. Him and Connor Barron as well to me that have really probably could be they could start every game really going on for the rest of the season. Probably will. But no, I like FD a lot, man.
Nah, I like him a lot. He's development a player that has been scouted pretty well, I think, by the club. And then obviously your two centre half partnerships, they stay the same as it was at Celtic Park. It was a bit of fear going into the game, but I thought they had a solid game next to each other. I thought they done really well. I think obviously Dundee United are going to be kind of that hammer throwing team that are going to have long balls and they're going to have that one annoying striker that's just going to kind of try and dominate physically against your two centre halves. But Robin Proper and John Suter dealt with them very well. And as I say, a lot of crosses into the box and corners and tricky moments when we were obviously defending that lead to get back home with the points. I thought the two of them definitely a massive improvement for Celtic Park anyway, but I thought the two of them
I
played
mean,
well.
could it get any worse than Celtic Park, really? No, I was wanting to see the other Dutch boy that was on the bench. I wanted to see him start. I don't, as I say, I'm not keen on Suter at all, but done well, and they done well, mate. They done decent, as I say. But I wanted to also see him start. I hope that Dutch boy does start, for the cup game coming up. But aye,
No,
nothing.
no, I thought the two centre halves for me, I thought they were solid enough, and it could have been a different story if they weren't.
Ah,
But
well,
aye, on the right hand side, Tavernier again,
it's no, we
shocking.
don't even need to talk about that really, do we?
Just really
We
poor
don't.
again. Like for me, the thing I'm watching Tavernier, he's just completely lost every time he
He's
gets
out
the
of
ball.
position all the time.
He's out of
Out of,
position defensively. When he gets forward, we're trying to do the same thing every time. But he runs onto the ball really nicely with pace, just immediately slows everyone down though. He can't catch the ball. He's not got the same pace as he once did. All the crosses into the box are poor. And then obviously back the way, it's just anybody that's up against James Tavernier seems to have the beating him. I think it was Trapanovsky that was up against him yesterday. Had that decent shot that clipped the post.
post.
Obviously coming down the right hand side again. He's not really getting too much joy Tavernier at the moment in any any sense of his game. Usually,
Mm.
maybe when he had a kind of poor defensive game, he would pop up with a goal or that, but he's just not really getting in those areas anymore either. And he found himself kind of in the middle of the park a lot of the time yesterday.
Well, I
But
thought he was doing his best, Joe Biden. He was just roaming around wherever you know what I mean? What? No, I listen. It's the same old story with Tavernier, really. You know what I mean? For me, it's just kind of move on. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
it's just not good enough, and I think
it's Stirling that
definitely
I
for
feel
the
it for.
game.
For me, mate, Stirling, I feel it for. Stirling should be, to me, Stirling should be our right back. Like, yet again, going into the game of the weekend for me as well, Stirling should be coming in playing there, but you already know Tavernier will play. I really want to know what Tavernier has on all these managers that just seem to just let him play, even though when he plays poorly, he just seems to continuously get the games. Obviously,
Nah,
he's always fit, but which is always a plus. But I really would like to see Sterling be playing at the weekend.
Aye, I think there'll be some rotation in that that right back area, sorry. But aye, onto the midfield, you've got Barron and Diomande, obviously, that had played together pretty much all season. There were only our only two midfielders
Yeah.
at one point. So we'll start with Diomande. And Diomande, I really love him as a player. I think he's got so many good attributes, but we just don't see it this season. I don't know what it is. Like, is the manager struggling to find a position for him to play in, play well? Is there maybe struggles of the demands for Diomande with the game and coming to the grips with Scottish football? Because I think a lot of the time he's skating on ice. He ends up fouling players. He's trying to obviously use his own way of playing. I don't know what it is with Diomande.
I,
He's just kind of there at the moment.
well, I think for me, it's one of them where obviously the expectation, kind of pressure maybe was on when he came in, where we thought, right, we're getting this kind of gem, do you know what I mean? And everybody's thinking he's going to turn around, be a fantastic player, and then end up moving him on early doors. But I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you what it is. For me, I've already said it to you. I question the manager a bit. Is the manager good enough to get the best out of this squad? That's something I'm thinking about right now. Obviously, these are his players that are coming in the door and what have you. But I'm sort of thinking to myself, right? But does the manager actually can I get the best out of them? But with Diomande, I couldn't tell you, mate. As I say, all over the place. But
Aye,
I
that's
don't know.
probably the way to describe him. He is all over the place at the moment.
I don't know. I would like to say that the maybe the pressure as well coming in with the door. As I say at the time, where we did need midfielders that comes in, and you're like, right, here we go. We've got somebody who probably could build around and what have you. I kind of compare it similar maybe to with Yanis Hadji when he first came in as well. Do you know what I mean? It was like, right, we've got a star kind of player here, but I don't know. I just think maybe just going to take some time, as I say, early doors. You think about how many games have Barnet had to play together already so far because we've had nobody in the park. So
I
maybe
think for
that's
Diomande as well, travelling to Africa for the games as well will be
well.
tough
There's
and
my
take its
point.
toll. So
There's my point with Clement there as well. Diomande has to go all the way to Africa, but the new sign we've made plays with Albania. Oh no, listen, he doesn't know his teammates' names, so how's he going to ask for a pass of the ball or some part like that? You know what I mean? You're just
yeah,
utter nonsense. You're listening to the manager speak.
yeah, nah, no, it has been, and I think we have to probably look into that as well. A lot of travelling at Diomande City too. He got on in the second Ivory Coast game, I believe, for the bench. So he's obviously been out there and he's been training, and there's been obviously large travel arrangements for him and stuff. So it may be something to do
Uh,
with that, but I think for the past few games, I think he's kind of been a bit lost out there.
Well, I just, as I say, the manager, as I say, he's going on about the Albanian boy and all that kind of stuff, and then you think of Diomande doing the travelling he's got to do, so he just gets chucked in every week. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
fans are quick to be like, "What's going on with him?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, aye. And then Conor Barron, I think, is the total different player. He's absolutely brilliant, and he probably had a bit of a. We had our off day as a team collectively, and in the management side of it as well at Parkhead a couple of weeks ago. But I think Conor Barron has been our best player probably since he's came in the door. He's just made that position his own. I think a player we thought was going to come in and be a bit part player, maybe come on here and there, but he's nailed down the position. He's the best in his position in the squad, and I think he does things for me that are just so simple, but we've not really seen a player do it for a long time, and he keeps the game ticking. He never hides. He's always shown for the ball. That tackle in the second half where he kind of broke up the counter attack for Dundee United as well was very nice. So, Conor Barron for me. Obviously, congratulations to him getting the Scotland squad as well. He'll probably be there for the foreseeable. So,
Mm.
really impressed with him.
No, I mean some of the when we were attacking the game, when we were going forward, some of the passes he was playing one or two through to Oscar Cortez, where it was beautifully weighted. Now his all round game yesterday was fantastic, and was lucky we didn't get another injury.
No,
That
that was obviously a flashpoint in the game. It was.
uh,
How did you see it? I thought it was kind of similar to Sterling's red card against Aberdeen. He caught him in the foot. There was high
well,
speed into it.
I thought it was a red, mate. I don't even care. Like it's a red all day for me. Just as you say, stunts going up and all that kind of.
I
It's
think when
I
you're looking at the consistency decisions, I think for me
I
there had to
know.
be
I
a
was
red
just
for that.
I don't know which guy we're doing. I think they're comparing it to the one for St Johnstone and Hibs.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
I think it was kind of similar. Kimpioka, I think it's sent off.
aye. But no, to me, it was a red all day long.
Yeah.
But all as I say, all round play yesterday for Connor Barron was fantastic. And as you say, someday he must have thought to himself as well, he's going to have to fight to get into the squad. But listen, he's a starter every week. Starter absolutely every week for me.
Aye.
You say so far, best player on the park for us. But obviously Tom Lawrence as well gets a goal and should have had another one. That's all I can really say with Tom Lawrence. He should have had another one.
Aye, Tom Lawrence frustrates me because we're obviously slating the team selection at the start of the game. Before the game even starts, Tom Lawrence, why is he playing? We want to see Bajrami playing. We want to see whoever playing there. Tom Lawrence obviously pops up with a goal. He pops up with some really nice play in the first half. The only complaint is he should have made it two, or he should have made it a hat trick for himself with some of the chances he got during the game. I think he's maybe got a kick up the arse knowing Bajrami's come in and he's playing in his position and
Mhm.
he needs to step up a wee bit because I saw a lot of things that Tom Lawrence doesn't really do, i.e. track back and win the ball back for deep and obviously some really nice forward play as well. As I say, the only complaint for me should have scored more goals to take more of his chances, but also when he gets the ball, seems to be too slow to release it. Sometimes he's caught in the ball a lot in that second half. But if Tom Lawrence keeps doing that, I think the support and me and you will be more than happy with him obviously playing his part this season. Because it was a really nice goal, and we don't really see too many of those nice goals happening. So if Tom Lawrence can keep doing that every week, I think the chatter will hopefully quiet down on him.
But what does that tell you? But like, it took somebody coming in for him to go, oh fuck, I need to actually play here.
Yeah.
That tells me what's sort of going on with some of these players. But oh, listen, if your players are, as you say, happy for him to be involved, he should have had more goals. But what can you do?
Aye, and then on to the three at the front,
I
Kieran
mean, Kieran
Dow
Dow's just a
starting on
waste of a jersey.
in the
Just an
right wing.
absolute waste of a jersey, man.
He doesn't really do anything great. He doesn't do anything bad. He just kind of there. He just doesn't really do much. He obviously had that chance in the first half where he kind of stung the goalkeeper's gloves with a shot for range. But apart from that, he's not really doing too much. He was kind of covering for Tavernier in the second half
That's what
at right back. So I think I'll give Kieran Dow a wee bit of props for actually just putting a shift
defending
in
in
for
this
the
half.
jersey, right? But I think it's one of those things as well where Clement had different ideas. He wanted to play Tierney there. Ross McCausland had a knock. Kieran Dow had to kind of step in and do the shift for the team. So for that, I'm fine with it. And I think for Kieran Dow, I'm fine with him if he's going to be here until January, whatever. Being a bit part player, he's got qualities, but we just never really ever see
You don't
too
see them
much
on the
here.
regular. You don't see them on the regular, as I say. But good defensive performance, you would say. Obviously, as you say, covering for Tav, but it just doesn't offer anything really for me personally. As I say, he's just
Nah.
well, like Casper the Ghost. You know what I mean? He's just no there.
Yeah, I think with the way the squad is in midfield, you'll definitely see him probably getting more games as well. So we'll see obviously how he develops. Oscar Cortez was a promising one for the start, getting him back after the first game of the season. I thought he looked bright when he gets the ball. I think his decision making at times could be a lot better, but cutting him a wee bit of slack. He's
Oh,
only just back for injury. Those things will come. He was unlucky with that cross that nearly dipped into the back post, actually into the goal. But I saw some promising things for Oscar Cortez, and hopefully stays fit now.
that's the main thing. It was just for me. I could see he was enjoying his football. So maybe not one or two of the best decisions, but you could tell he was up for it. And also get hooked at half time, and you knew what we were getting. Which was us just sitting back and allowing what was happening. But no, mate, he's one for me that I'm desperate just to keep fit. Obviously, I'd like to make that deal permanent if we could do it. If he goes
I
on to,
believe it actually is permanent.
is it? Right,
I
well,
think it's the same as Diomande. I think he's going to be a
Mandy.
Rangers player. Aye.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of quality there. There's a lot of quality, and it's just for him, just about staying fit.
Yep, that's exactly it. And hopefully we see him get more game time for the cup game on Saturday. And then Cyril Dessers leading the line again and doing Cyril Dessers things, missing chances, not being able to do too much in terms of his actual all-around play. I think some of his play at times is good when the ball's at his feet, but if it's a high ball, if he's needing to take it down his chest, if he's needing to use his strength to outmuscle a defender or a player, he's just no use at all. You seen that great play that the start of the second half, it went between four players, flicks and all that, and straight through. I think it ended up with Tom Lawrence, and you're thinking, right, he can do stuff like that so
Aye.
quickly, but when he has to think about things, it's just, aye, it's a disaster, and it was at the end of the second half. That could have really wrapped up the game at that point, but it takes too much time, and I think with Hamza Igmane coming on in the second half, I think we just needed somebody like that, somebody that we could actually look at and be like, right, we understand why we've bought this guy now. It's took him maybe a wee bit of time to acclimatise to Glasgow and the club and all that. We get that, but he's now in. He's now playing. He's now looks the part. He's taking the ball down his chest. He's driving at pace. He's got skill to go by players. I liked what I saw a lot more for Hamza than obviously Cyril in that first and second half before he did get subbed. So there's hopefully promise there, but we can build him up, and I think a lot of the support definitely liked what they saw with Igmani.
No, it's really good what we saw. It's when it comes to Dessers, but the sort of real one that really sticks in my head was early on where he sort of went down for a penalty.
Nah, he
For
could have
me,
just went for the ball.
well, that's what I'm saying. For me, my number nine needs to be bullying that defender and getting his head on that.
Yeah,
He just fell to the floor. I really didn't understand what he was looking for. Just again, wasteful, just wasteful. But as you say, young boy comes on, and he shows he's got competition, and so far what we're seeing, the fans are loving it, and he'll be another one we're hoping to be starting on the Saturday.
I hope so. Hope so. He's something that we can actually hold on to now and think, right, we've got a bit of hope with this guy that we can hopefully unearth a diamond. So I think Clement saying after the game as well, we had to do the deal this summer because if it was next summer, we'd never be able to kind of afford them. So that's obviously promising coming for the manager who sees him train every day and knows who he is. So good signs there. And obviously Nedim Bayrami came on for his debut in the second half. I think that was probably the idea. Give Cortez 45 minutes, give Bayrami 45. And I think he done a job for the team out on the left hand side. I think we want to see him more centrally when he proper gets into it. But he had some nice touches, he had some nice flicks and stuff like that. And I put in a shift for the team, obviously, to grind out the result.
That's it, mate. Grind out the result. That's what it was all about. Just getting the 3 points, and down the road, up the road we go.
Aye, it was a hard fought win. Of course, it was never going to be pretty up at Dundee United, as we say. They're going to come out in the second half and they're going to want to kind of open the game up and try and take advantage of the home crowd. But defensively, we were solid and we could do a bit more going forward and taking control of the game. And
That's
we dropped out the game too easy, as well as we were saying yesterday.
well, obviously we had different angles on the game. I just would like to see Rangers play well now. This is what I'm saying. The manager's got the players now that he wants on the door. I know he'll say it takes a wee bit of time, but Saturday I would like to see Rangers play for a full 90 minutes, not just for a half or just for like 20 minutes of a game. I'd like to see us go out, full out, and just play football. Because for me, second half wasn't really enjoyable. All right, some of the boys done some nice stuff and what have you, but I'd like to see us just play good football, as I say, for the full 90 minutes and take our chances when they come to us.
Nah, make it a lot easier, make it a lot less
The first
difficult.
the game should have been done the first half. Rangers could have had 3 or 4 for me. Spit it out
But
yours.
exactly, it is the Rangers' way, as we all know. They just continuously make it difficult for themselves, and you've got to obviously sit there and wonder why we don't take advantage and really just put teams to the sword when we're on top. Because we were on top enough to go and score a couple of goals there, but for whatever reason, obviously
Yes.
we didn't take advantage of that. But in another day, that ends up being a game that we throw away. So that has to be a habit that stops, and we need to start scoring goals and taking chances, definitely. But for me, the way
Especially,
I kind of looked at it yesterday, I was like, right, we played well. We're obviously coming out of a bad moment, a bad couple of weeks for the club. Just get the results. The main thing. We obviously can build on that and move forward, and we obviously did. But some of the news that was coming out of the club on a Saturday afternoon was obviously John Bennett stepping down. I heard kind of rumours of this the night
Mhm.
before. I was flying home. I landed. I seen John Bennett was obviously stepping down. I think if there's obviously stuff to do with health reasons, no matter who it is, I hope he's okay in terms of his health and stuff like that. That's the main thing. But this is something that obviously had to happen for the benefit of the club and the fans that support the club and the way that the club's been ran. We've obviously heard Dave King on Talksport this morning saying that the club is an absolute riot for every single aspect. So I think John Bennett, he's kind of been a chairman of failure, really. There's a lot of money being wasted. There's a lot of There's now the gap is widened with Celtic, and we're in a kind of transition moment again for this season for God knows how many seasons that's been where we've had a rebuild attached to it. So, aye, John Bennett, there's no doubt in my mind that he definitely tried for the club, but aye, too many things happened and he wasn't able to handle it really.
I certainly just can handle the job. Just be the thing that I say, just because you're a fan of something doesn't mean that you can do the job. You need people in there that can that to see what it is. Obviously a business. Obviously, I think it's stupid that people have to say like, "Oh, I hope he's like health wise," and of course we do. That's the most stupid. You hope the guy's health's all right. You hope he's all right and he's whatever you. I think that's just silly. People have to say that now. I mean, there's a lot of stupid people on Twitter with stuff and whatever you. But I definitely health reasons. You just hope the guy's all right. That's all. MD's really got their health. Your health is your wealth, as they say. But for us, I just think it's time, man. Get born in the USA, blasting out Ibrox. I mean, we need investment, and I want that American dough in that dough. I'll take any dough, really. But I mean, the fact that they stopped the American investment coming in to me, I mean,
Yeah.
just just confirms what we knew all along when we were all sitting there with Gio and what have you, and you're like, where's the dough? Where's this guy's dough to spend? You know what I mean? They no clue whatsoever
Aye. I
what they were
think I think
doing.
that's the big thing. That's just the club's been just ran like an
Mismanaged.
absolute shit show, and I mismanaged is a really good word to use as well. People have obviously left the club at board level and senior
Oh
management
well,
positions that we've never been able to really replace and refill and have those guys take on the tasks of the ones that done it before. Obviously, when Dave King was there and he was the chairman, he had the club in a good place. Obviously, I think his main thing, if we then go into obviously we four lads had a dream posting last night, Dave King speaking about it. I think his best interest is the club and how people view the club and how the club's obviously got proper infrastructure working in beside it. Stability and obviously they've got a winning team on the pitch and as you say, Dave King done that when he was here. He got the club to a really good point. And he's obviously put his name in the hat, saying I'll come back for 2 years and obviously try and stabilise it and get the right people in and kind of rid the crap out of the club really and get it functioning and get it working. And obviously one of the main things is finding investors and bringing them to the club, which he says they'll be looking to do as well. And I think depending on how you view Dave King, I think for me it's what we need at the moment. It might not be the most ideal situation ever, but I think somebody who knows what he's doing and can hopefully stabilise and knows obviously what's been going on since he left the club will be a thing that hopefully we can take advantage in and he can come in and do a good job.
it's a bit of a like, political speech that in it, but it's a bit like politics. I feel like we're voting for somebody to run office or whatever. No, listen, if the guy comes in as you say, gets rid of the Doug Rudder, that's in the club, then fair play. But as I say, born in the USA or any other country, if they want to invest, please.
Nah, some Saudis can come by us or do
Oh,
whatever they want. Just inject
please.
cash into the club, please. But I think
Not
that's
only
something that has to happen anyway.
Sorry, mate, but not only just like inject cash in, want to see people at the top who actually know what they're doing and actually know how to do their job, and not people just there, as I say, because you're a fan. Just because you're a fan. If it was about being a fan, there would be Evie and Ibrox would be on in the boardroom.
That's
I
it.
just, as I
You need to
say,
get you need to get guys in that know
businessmen,
exactly what they're doing. Aye,
businessmen or women in there, well, businessmen or women in there doing the jobs properly and correctly. And that's what we want to see. We want to see us being run correctly instead of this mess that we've been for a number of years now.
yeah, and I think that's something that will have to happen pretty quickly in terms of if Dave King is going to make a return, and the board at the moment, the current board, will need to then make a decision on how they want to progress. So I think there is decisions that have to be made, but they have to be made quickly because we can't go without a CEO and a chairman for too much longer. So that's its own disaster. But we then go and we play Dundee back at Ibrox, which again, credit to four lads had a dream. This is Ibrox this morning, looking really nice. Obviously, the Copeland stand is getting its final touches put to the rear stand, which I don't believe is open for the game on Saturday. But it'll be good to get back to Ibrox. A lot of players, it'll be their first time playing at Ibrox as well. So I think, aye, this is just another one of those things that you can look at towards obviously the previous regime and current regime at the club for how they've
Mm.
planned this out. It's now obviously September. We're getting back to Ibrox, and it's obviously a good sign. For me, I think the team that I would have some rotation in this team. I think obviously you were saying Sterling playing right back. I obviously seen him ready in Casemiro at the end of the game yesterday, but he didn't end up subbing him on for Tavernier. I think he might start at right back. I think he'll want to keep the two centre half pairings kind of the same. I think Yefty again is their only option in there. I think Raskin comes into the team. Cherny, I believe, will start as well after his illness. Bayrami will probably come in and make his full debut for the get go. Cortez again getting more minutes for the start, and then Egaman who'll lead the line hopefully. And Dundee will be a tough game. Obviously, they've started the season pretty well. They play good football, but they've obviously lost Luke McCowan now, who was their main talisman in the middle of the park. That could have a kind of knock-on effect to how they do this season. But there's no doubts about it. It'll be a tough game. It's a cup game. Anything can kind of happen at that level. But I think it's a good opportunity for us ahead of obviously the Europa League starting as well the week after to get some guys in, get some minutes in their legs, get obviously that experience at Ibrox, and hopefully again come away with the victory in the next round of the cup.
That's the main thing. I'd like to see Sterling playing. I'd give Suter a wee rest as well. I'd like to see Sterling at right back and pat that boy centre half. I really do feel bad for Sterling at times. I say that constantly he comes in, he puts a shift in, and obviously he gets rotated in and out. I'd like to see him get a start. But as you say, it's going to be first time for a lot of these lads playing at home, playing at Ibrox. And let's see if they can, as I say, handle it. I'd like to see us go out there, play lovely football, get a couple of goals, go into the next round, and build confidence, obviously, for Europa League Thursday, away in what's it, Sweden, innit? So, aye,
Nah,
it'd be nice to
Malmo
watch.
obviously.
Be nice to watch Rangers play good football for 90 minutes and get a couple of goals.
I think again another positive thing that is happening is we're now back at Ibrox. I can't imagine how the actual players feel having to not know where they're playing at Hampden. It's been a bit of a mess for everybody. It's never really felt like the season's actually proper started yet, which is a
Well,
strange thing to say. But
let's hope it does this weekend, where, as I
well,
say, Rangers playing good football and hopefully putting 4 or 5 in the net would be nice.
there's obviously that incentive now. We're back at Ibrox. Everyone's now kind of in place. Managers get his players. We've got a victory, obviously, away at Dundee United. Let's start building some here for the rest of the season. And as much as the club might be in disarray, let's just make sure the team are winning the pitch. That's kind of the main thing. Playing good football and exciting the fans will be good and obviously long term for Clement and obviously him being under pressure at the moment as well. So that's kind of everything for the day. It's obviously been a bit busy. We didn't do the episode last week because we were still a bit obviously raging with things, but we go into Dundee. We see how the week kind of pans out in terms of board level and what happens with the ins and outs of the club. And we're back at Ibrox on Saturday, so it's looking good, and hopefully we can keep this momentum building for the rest of the season and so on. So, if you do enjoy the podcast, if you could like, subscribe, and share, and we'll be back with another episode next week.